A beautiful morning to you all, and welcome to the newspaper review for today. As you all know, I am Ayo, and I have quite a number of headlines to be reviewed with you today. And as you can see, I'm not here to review with you alone. Mr. Prosper, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ayo. Like I said, you're looking to take away today. I wish I'm not taken. I would have taken you away right away.
Father Abraham. Yeah, welcome to the show. And how has Nigeria been treating you all along?
The good thing is that God is covering our. The bunny is inside. Some of you can't see it outside because God is covering it.
The outside. That's the good one. I love the good factor. So I would like that you all stay tuned with us while we go on a very quick break. And as soon as we get back from going to the show, please stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Electricity tariff increase, act of insensitivity to plight of Nigerians, stakeholders. Let's look at the news in details. Stakeholders have described the approval granted discourse by the federal government to hike electricity tariff as an act of insensitivity to the plight of Nigerians. They contended with the increase will further worsen the hardship currently being by Nigerians. Recall that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, recently approved the hike in tariff of electricity to certain category of consumers. Under the new dispensation, consumers of Band A category with 20 hours and above electricity supply had their tariff increased from 66 naira per kilowatt to 225 naira, an increase of over 200%. Stakeholders contend that this move will add to inflation rate and lead to hike in the prices of manufactured commodities. According to them, Nigerians are battling with hardship caused by removal of fuel subsidy, which has caused hike in price of goods and services. So, since last week we've been hearing the story of electricity tariff increase, and we're wondering that though it was first good news because quite a number of states came out and they mentioned the areas that are enjoying 20 to 24 hours electricity, and we were all excited, like we look forward to that development in other sectors. But the day after that news came out, for me to understand that there is, because of those category of people that are enjoying 20 to 24 hours electricity, that they are going to have an increase in their tariff from 66 naira to 225 naira per kilowatt per hour. And we were wondering that even as much as these are the band A's, there are also those people that are investing into the development of the country. That why the increase, and quite a number of states came out, I think Lagos State inclusive, they said they want to opt out of the subsidy on, they want to opt out of being under the federal government on electricity, that they want to be on their own and start generating their own power. But quite a number of people are reacting to this, that is it the same electricity that we are not even enjoying up to the 20 to 24 hours they have mentioned, yet they want to have an increase on it. So what is your take on this story before we look at the Minister of Power say on this electricity tariff increase?
Well, to start with, I'm laughing because when I hear some people are enjoying batch A, how was it? Because it batch or band A and band B. You ask the question in the first instance, why should there be band A and band B? Are we not all the same citizens in the country? You understand me? Why are we having some people enjoying 20 hours, others are not enjoying? Why in the first place? So indeed, that's actually has been the fact, because there's some places you go today, as we speak right now, they have lights.
Yeah, exactly.
For the whole day they have light. And light goes off, they will even announce it to them that the light will go off so time out and to come back so time, and it will happen.
Yeah.
Why some place for good 1 week or 2? What am I saying? 3 weeks you won't have light.
Exactly.
Guess what? They will still bring bills to that place. He said that the moment they are bringing the bill, they are come with ladder.
Exactly.
They'll put it on the pole, they'll tell you they have brought bill, you have to pay. If you don't pay, they'll remove it. If you remove it, they remove it. You have to pay to connect it back. You now go ahead and you have to go and pay the bill first. Then you now pay extra money to reconnect it back. That's what has been happening. But in these band areas, we never see ladder there.
Exactly.
You understand? So it means that the citizens have been divided into two parts. Some people are more special than others. And now you now come out and say that band 8 has been increased over 200%. The increase is even outrageous. It's just I don't know use word that kids will not be able to listen to. You understand? It's even wrong. How can you increase something over 200? How do you expect people to be able to cope with such increment? It will be if there's a need, if it's a must, it should be done in batches. Maybe after 3 months, you do this. After 3 months, you understand? So that people could be able to cope and manage to cope with that kind of
the economic
yes. But you just increase it. It makes you don't even care about how people pay for this. And I overheard the minister comparing this with what people are spending on generator and all that. That comparison is absolutely wrong. You understand me? That people spend so much on buying generator, fueling it, maintaining it. It's not because of the failure of the electricity industry that makes people to be doing all this. It's alternative and all that. You can't compare that. What you will think, you be thinking that you have failed, do something better. Okay, now this subsidy you have removed. What is the essence? What's the promise? What are we expecting? The money that was removed now, what will the money be used for? Is it to generate more electricity or to do what? Or to be siphoned? You understand me? So now, the question again is that, will this happen for the fuel issues and all that? And we heard subsidy was gone. Till date, people are still suffering. The fuel is neither here nor there. A few days ago, we saw queue almost all over the filling station. Some have closed up. They didn't open.
Exactly.
You understand? People are queuing to buy. So now tell me, it's over how many months now that this subsidy was removed?
And yet it is still affecting us.
What is the improvement? The money that was removed from there, what has money been spent on? Do you understand me? So nobody want to believe all this. The average citizen won't believe this because they still believe it's just a long story. And because if nothing happened during the first subsidy removal and you want to remove this again, it's like tripling the pain that people already bearing. People keep saying that this government, they are pushing people to the wall on a daily basis. Yeah, these are just a fact. Look at look at what the whole stakeholders are saying all over the place. No one is supporting this because you have not solved the issue that happened during the first subsidy, and you are bringing this again. This actually forget the band A, band B, because if this happen, this is Nigeria. No hard things happen. It will go round.
Exactly.
Nobody will be spared because, of course, the common man, who will you cry? Who will listen to you? So it's like that. It's a general thing. Forget whatever.
Another thing I also want us to look at is the fact that usually when things like this happen, like in the case of the subsidy removal, the people who are affected the most are the poor masses, those who cannot even afford it. There's the case of the minimum wage that is yet to be handled. Minimum wage is still around 30,000 naira, yet they remove fuel subsidy and everything. And we discovered that people came out in their numbers to protest about hardship, yet nothing was done to it. Now, do you by any chance think that people complaining about this tariff increase will still have an effect on the government? Will there be any development on their part? Like, okay, let's consider the economy. Let's consider what people are going through and see how we can subsidize this. And do you by chance feel like the government are willing to listen to the people?
I don't see the government listening because even before this, we had during the campaign, we had a lot of promises, and that if you like, cry from now to tomorrow, that the subsidy will be removed. And that happened. Despite the cry of the people to date, nothing has changed, right? And people have cried and cried, they've kept quiet. Nobody's saying it anymore. People, the NLC, that people believe that we'll be able to fight, and you hear NLC today, tomorrow they've gone silent. And so, and because they have succeeded in that first subsidy, nobody could do anything about it. That is why this electricity is coming up. So, and if also the citizen can't do anything about it, the same thing used to happen. Something else will take place again.
Exactly.
So the government seems they have a direction that they are going. And they don't expect anything to stop them, and they have a focus. They are going somewhere. So far, it has not been palatable with for the masses, but they don't care. They are going that direction. So the question is, that this money has been removed and all that, where is the money? Where is it being spent on?
Yeah.
Where is the money? There's no transparency.
Yeah,
okay?
I was actually coming to that.
There's
that
no
they have to be transparent to the people they are governing. You cannot just make decision that favors you and without considering the
have leaders.
Yeah.
Let's be very fair with that, frank with that. When you have rulers dictate and tell you what to do and all that, they get it done without listening to you. But when you have leaders tend to be sensitive with some issues, some things, and so okay, fine. If we do this, they want to get feedback from from people they're serving. But we assume that leadership is service. But in Nigeria, it's not like that. It's not. They just believe once they are in that position, you can't do anything. They can decide for you, and that's it. That's what's been happening. So even with this now, we can hear from articles saying that this is it will make life more difficult for people, which is true. We also heard from the presidential candidate for Labour Party, the President Peter Obi, saying that the time is very wrong at this time. That to make life difficult for people. And we also heard from other stakeholders saying that the timing is very wrong. People have not recovered from the fuel issue. You are bringing this in. The dollar issue, the exchange rate has not really helped also. You are bringing this in. This is very insensitive. It's insensitive. This is what people are saying.
So moving on to the next story, there is over the weekend, the Minister of Power gave a speech on this issue of tariff increase. We'll have the video displayed soon. But one of the things that a lot of Nigerians are reacting to the most is the fact that he was saying that despite Nigerians are paying, for the fact that Nigerians are paying for power does not mean they have to leave their refrigerators, all of their gadgets at home. They have to leave it on and all of that. So I would like us to look at that video before we go into the review.
It is more than 50% cheaper than running alternative power. And like I mentioned earlier, that for the first time in many years, government is taking a bold step to address the fundamental issues confronting the power sector. Number one issue, which I believe this step that we have taken is going to address, is the liquidity and pricing issues. This sector has been deprived of the required liquidity to keep it running on a sustainable level, to keep it to continuously being in business, because it is no longer attractive to investors. Even the operators don't have enough liquidity to invest in enhancement of their infrastructures. The generating companies could not pay the gas companies, which is the raw material, which is the feedstock that they use to generate power. The generating companies cannot service their equipment. It's getting to a level that they cannot even pay their salary, the salaries of their workers, because of the accumulated debt in the sector due to lack of liquidity and commercial pricing. And I believe that previous administrations have shied away from addressing this. It's a tough conversation, but we must have it at a point if we are serious about stable power sector in this country. And this government is committed to doing it. It might be painful in the short term, but the gains will come very soon, and the gains shall become permanent. Number two is the infrastructure deficit in the sector. We keep saying it's a three-segment sector: generation, transmission, and distribution. For me, to be more comprehensive, it's a five-segment sector. We have the gas sector with gas production and transportation infrastructure. We have the generating companies, which is the thermal plants, that's the gas-fired power plants, and the hydroelectric power plants. Those are the generators. Then we have the transmission company, which is the transmission segment that has to do with long-distance transportation of power from the point or location of generation to the point of distribution. Those are the high-voltage power lines and towers that we see all over, that people even vandalize. That's number 3. Then we have the distribution sector, which are the last mile segments. They are the ones that people see. They are the ones that take power to our houses, to our businesses, and to our industries. That's the fourth segment. Then the fifth segment, which most people try to overlook, is the consumer segment itself. Because the consumer segment plays a major role in this sector too, and it must be well focused and dealt with. And all these segments need to enhance infrastructure. All our power generating, all our gas pipelines are bad. There have been vandalization of the gas pipelines. There have been lack of adequate pressure in the gas pipes, where we need compressors, where we need boosters. The generating companies, they are.
Okay, we have just heard from the Minister of Power himself, even though some of the things that he mentioned as well, when he was talking about the consumers' standpoint too, he said a lot of Nigerians are the reason for this electricity issue and all of that. He said people will want to step out of their house, they will leave their AC on to cool the house before they get back. People are going to work and they leave their refrigerators and all of that, they leave it on. That those are the things that are consuming power. And it is now leading me, I in particular, to ask that what is the essence of power when it is not used? That's the question I've been asking myself when I heard that from you. That what is the essence of the power when people are not using it? And to even think that a lot of people do not, because the power supply is epileptic. You don't know when next power will come. So they just want to leave the refrigerator on so it can get cold before they get back, because gone are the days where you get your things iced before you get back from work. But now it is only be a little cold, and before you know it, you don't know when we should be expecting power. So what is your take on what the Minister of Power had said concerning this whole issue about electricity?
You see what? Let me tell you something. A lot of them are looking for excuses. Go to the root of the whole thing. Okay, we're not just only country generating power. Other countries in the world, how are they generating their own power? How are they utilizing power? How are they compelling the people to manage electricity? We talked about having meter, what's it called? This a prepaid meter. If you have a prepaid meter, nobody will ask you to off your AC when you're leaving the house,
because you're paying for it.
A lot of people are running from prepaid meter because the price this price we're talking about today has already been factored into that prepaid meter. So when we recharge, I think we recharge some token, discover what you are getting is not, and the way it's being consumed is something else. So a lot of people are kind of shying away from that place. But these are ways they can use to help people to manage it. Of course, Nigerians will lack what they call maintenance culture and all that. We like wasting things. That's true. But at the same time, there's a way government can make people to manage electricity. When you have prepared meter, you know very well that it's going to be based on how many hours or how many bulbs are on or whatever you put on that's going to consume the light. You know what to do. When you're leaving the house, you put it off. But what is the, like you mentioned, what's the essence of having freezer and not putting it on? You put your stuff inside before you get back from work to get spoiled or something. So the freezer has to be on. It has to get frozen, right? So that's the essence of using light. So the issue, let them go to the bottom line. This subsidy you are removing, is it going to make the whole Nigerians to have light? Is it going to make light to be available for the whole country and 24/7? That's the question. If that's the essence of doing this, that there will be stable light, okay. Nigerians will say, okay, go ahead with it. For example, when they remove the first subsidy, if they had promised Nigerians that, okay, this subsidy we are removing, we want to put this money together and build more refinery or repair the other refineries so we can be refining oil in the country, I can assure Nigerians won't complain.
I think this is a problem with this administration. They are not accountable to the people.
They don't. It's as if this kind of we don't care. We're just going to do the way we want to do it. We don't care what happened, and that's not how it should be as a leader of people somebody that has been elected to be in position. You are accountable. You have to give details, explain to who you are leading, how you are doing things, so that they can follow you. They can understand with you. Okay, fine. You are heading somewhere. You're asking people to endure, side patient, calm down, everything will be fine. How will it be fine? What's the hope? Do you understand me? How will it be fine? What we are saying doesn't appear as if it's going to be fine. People that have endured for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months, that suddenly have not changed and they have been enjoying hardship, you are still telling them to hold everything to be fine. You don't give them reason why everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Tell me, I have removed subsidy because I want to build a refinery,
Yeah.
so that by next year or 2 years' time, they'll be refining oil. We don't have to go and refine outside country anymore. We have to refine it here. By then, the price will likely come to so amount. Somebody will not kill. I'm suffering because there's something I'm going to get in the future. There's nothing like that.
Exactly.
Okay, we are removing this electricity. We are removing this subsidy for electricity, and we're hiking the price to social amount so that we can be able to maintain the equipment, so that there will be light 247 light.
Yeah.
When you know you're going to have a 247 light, no matter what you are paying, you'll be able to adjust yourself. But there's no hope like that. Okay, so I can assure you that most Nigerians won't believe what is happening.
Exactly.
And it's as if they keep pushing the citizens to the wall. And one thing about this country is that we are resilient. Nigerians are one of the most patient people I have ever seen. But when they get pushed to the wall, when they bounce back, you might not be able to hold them. That's just the truth. So a lot of people keep saying this: stop pushing the citizens to the wall. Do what is necessary. Somebody was saying, take care of the youth. You saw what happened to the NSA. The country the way it's right, we can't afford such thing anymore.
Exactly.
If that happens again,
even if it come back,
if that happens again, I don't think the government will be able to stop it. Because the citizens, they don't even trust the government as it is right now. Because there's no transparency in the system. So they believe that those things, all these subsidy things, the money is going to the individual's pocket and all that. And they're going to be agitated. So I just the truth.
Okay. On my part, I feel like this administration is making blind decision in the sense that they just feel like they don't weigh their options before implementing whatever it is that they want to implement. I think a few weeks back, we were talking about Oronsoye's report. They said Oronsoye's report will be reviewed. Currently, we don't even know anything about Oronsoye's report again. They are not talking about it again. Blind decision. Few weeks back, they mentioned that they were going to cut cost of governance by cutting out foreign trips for ministers, for agencies, for MDAs, and all of that. But even the Mr. President himself, he recently traveled out of the country. Yet they've forgotten that Nigerians held on to what they've said earlier. So this administration are making blind decisions without considering the effect on the masses.
And they know what they're doing. We've been hearing about this coastal road for a long time, right? We've been hearing about it for a long time. And, suddenly, I think this year, we discovered that they've started.
Yeah.
Where did the money come from? Was it in the budget? I don't know, I'm asking.
It is
was it in the
budget?
So where did the money come from? What about somebody that tells you that maybe the word they removed from subsidy and all that, that's what they're trying to do? I'm just saying, for example, if somebody tells you, not fine, all the subsidy thing and all that, that's the money that's been channeled to this construction of the coastal road.
But we cannot continue
will it be far? Will it be far from it? It will be far from it. So I tell you that the government, indeed, they know what they are doing. So you can't stop them unless maybe some people wake up and say, no, we can't do this anymore. I said that. Yeah, that's just what I can say to that.
All right.
Okay.
So moving on to the next story. Atiku presidency clash over ex-VP's comment on Lagos-Calabar highway project. Let's look at the news in details. The 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, alleged that President Bola Tinubu put personal business interests before Nigerian infrastructure. Atiku stated that the Tinubu administration is engaged in questionable dealing amidst the development of the 700-kilometer Lagos to Calabar coastal highway. The federal government recently announced the start of construction on the 700-kilometer Lagos to Calabar coastal highway. The Minister of Works, David Umar, revealed this information in a statement issued last week by his special advisor on media, Oji Uchenna, in Abuja. Umahi mentioned that the contractor commenced work following the formal handover of the initial phase of the project, comprising 47 by 47 kilometers of dual carriageway to Hightech Construction Company Limited. Reacting to Umahi's statements, the former vice president, in a statement by his media coordinator, Paul Ibe on Sunday alleged that the project allocation to Gilbert Chagori's high-tech construction company Nigeria, devoid of any documented competitive bidding process or decision by the Federal Executive Council. So, like you rightly said earlier, that the coastal highway, they've been talking about it for a very long time, and now they are implementing it, even though it is not a part of this budget. It still boils down to transparency. And as much as we are looking at this from the angle of the presidential candidate for the 2023 election or the PDP presidential, as much as we are looking at it from his perspective, but this is a pertinent question in the heart of many Nigerians, that you cannot just start up a project without pre-informing the people you are ruling over. So it is not a weird reaction from his part. It is a question on the heart of many Nigerians, that do we keep on investing in projects that Nigerians do not even know about? As much as this will be a good development, but what about the businesses that will be affected? I think last week, over the weekend, the CEO of the landmark event, Landmark Beach Resort, he granted an interview with Channels Television where he mentioned that he was given a 7 days ultimatum for his building, for that building to be demolished. Why? Because of the coastal highway. But had it been this coastal highway is included in the budget, he would have started planning himself. It would have been a win-win for him. He would have negotiated with the government. They would have negotiated on what is stand to gain after his building has been demolished. But because there is no transparency, because this administration only do things they want to do without carrying the masses along, hence a lot of people will be affected. So what do you think will become of businesses that will be affected as a result of this coastal highway that is currently being constructed?
Now, first and foremost, before you start building, you need to make proper investigation to know if the land where you are building is on the government acquisition, all those things and all that. That's one. Secondly, it would be wrong for government to just come and demolish your project without trying to remedy the situation, help you out. Because I know I have a friend today that is headed to Alausa today to speak because his house has been marked for demolition. So they are fighting it. And I ask again, if the project is so huge and you look at the cost of that project, highway is not more that highway must go through a particular pathway. If you discover that the cost you're going to incur by settling that project, or by if you destroy it, what's going to cost? You can have a way around that structure. But that structure has been there for a long time, and I'm sure it could be there. Maybe it was there before this highway was.
Exactly. That company has been there for the past 27 years.
So government should be able to compensate him before they can go ahead and demolish. If there's going to be a legal battle.
Even beyond compensation, like you have rightly said, the highway does not have to go through that route.
Yeah,
they can maneuver it.
They can maneuver it. That's possible. You can do that. So what we have this country. Some people, when they're in government, they feel you can't do them anything. They see government position as a means of fighting back and fighting all the people they perceive to be their enemies. Now we saw that in Abuja, some story here and there. Some buildings were demolished, some houses were demolished. Even those are not even that were properly planned. We see here that news was that they see went ahead and demolished. That was like a fight back. Now I have the power, I can do whatever I want to do. See, there's a whole lot of issues in this country. There's a whole lot of work in this country. And we need people that are sincere in position to be able to remedy these old issues. If not, you keep having all the nonchalant people that don't even care about anybody being in position. They'll do anyhow. Now, if you look at what have we been experiencing in Lagos State, I didn't expect anybody to expect so much other than what has been happening in Lagos State in Nigeria. I don't know if you understand me. I don't expect anyone to expect more than what has been happening in Lagos State in the whole of the country. So just use Lagos as a case study and imagine what's going to happen in the whole country. So if you think everything has been rosy, has been going fantastically well in the country, in Lagos State, fine, it's going to happen like that. But if you think it doesn't be like that, to expect similar results.
Okay, another thing to consider from this story is the company they are giving this project, this highway project to, it is the same company that worked on, should we say work on, because they're still working, it is the same company that's still working on the Ekpe to Aja road. And we discovered that when that project was initiated, the federal government only paid a percentage for the construction of that road, and afterwards it is the Lagos State government that shouldered the payment of for the completion of that project. Now it is the same company that is handling the coastal highway project. Now it is bringing us to ask the question, what percentage is the federal government paying for this coastal highway now? Hope on the long run it won't be that the states that will be affected, during the course of this construction, will not be paying another percentage.
The coastal is a federal government project.
Okay.
Normally, a federal government project is taken over by the federal government. It's handled by the federal government, no states. But you see, that still boils back to the issue of the transparency.
Yeah.
And we don't know what is being discussed, except maybe there is information coming up. We don't know what's being discussed. Even this other one you talked about, the Ekpe Expressway and all that, nobody knows actually what was discussed.
Exactly.
But the construction is ongoing, and people have been crying on this road because of the poor traffic management.
Yeah.
Whenever these guys are working on that road, it's either you sit out, you go back home, or you look for elsewhere to go because the road will be locked down. There's poor traffic management. We saw a video when woman posted as at 11 a.m. the student bus was still on the way going to school. They spent 4 hours within a 5 minutes drive. 4 hours because somebody did not demarcate the road the way it should be. And remember, know this downfall driver, they want to be ahead of that at all costs. And they were causing serious traffic. And they were poor traffic management. So, and you see, went ahead and gave such a company the contract to construct such a highway. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. But as regard the landmark beach, I think that Hamid ultimatum is it's not going to work.
Exactly.
Like I mentioned, it's going to be a legal battle. As simple as that. Yeah, I'm sure it has. Landmark is a popular beach resort. Like whenever you go there on weekends, the place is always on lockdown.
Yeah.
As in, people love the place and they kind of really enjoy the environment. And it's very close to the beach. The question again is that with the coastal road is going to be just by the beach, because there's a road before that landmark where they can actually take that coastal road through. And apart from this landmark, there's other heavy projects in that environment. I'm sure the government will do something.
Exactly. And another question I would like us to look at before we wrap up with the show is the future of businesses in this country. Because we see a lot of countries that there are businesses and organizations that has existed for 100 years, for 200 years, and they are still existing because they want the legacy to continue. Now we have a business that has been running for 27 years, and the federal government did not even think about the cost on the owner of the organization, the amount of persons that will lose their job. And it is making us to ask the question, if there is future for business owners in this country. I mean, if they cannot consider a business that has been existing for over 2 decades, then what is the future of businesses that are just thriving?
I heard the Minister of Power saying that they want to encourage stakeholders, right, to come in and all that. But if you look at the decision they have taken so far, I don't see any way that is encouraging them stakeholders.
Exactly.
What is happening to Landmark right now? If they should go ahead and do this, that will not encourage any business owner.
Exactly.
And a lot of things in the country is not encouraging businesses. You know that there's what they call radio fees and all that. And when you put on your signage and all that, for people to locate your business. Because in first place, some people don't locate your business. How will they patronize you? And if you don't patronize you, how will you be able to pay taxes and all that? So you see local government coming and demanding for fees for radio license and all these. If you don't do that or pull down your signage, a lot of things, taxes here and there. So now the question is, how does this encourage business? The tariff you have increased, how will it encourage business? If you want people to invest in the country, you encourage them.
Yeah.
One of those ways to reduce the electricity tariff It's a make free available.
Exactly. So people can
Right?
come in.
It's to win business that is thriving. It's to encourage that business to continue to thrive. Not by threatening the life of the business. By bringing so many taxes on board, you are threatening the life of the business. Somebody is struggling to maintain his business. You are bringing more tariff, more taxes, and all that on the business. How will the person suffer? How will the person pay salaries and all that? So I don't think it's just like if you're saying one thing and doing the other thing. That's what is happening in the country. As simple as that.
Okay, thank you so much. So one last question before you you leave the studio. 2027 is here already. We have few years to go, and a lot of persons are looking forward to 2027 election. So what do you think may likely be the outcome of that election, considering that the people's person, there is now the obedience movement, and a lot of people are wondering that Peter Obi, the presidential candidate for the Labour Party, is no longer as active as he used to be in that party. And a lot of people are looking at, if he is standing as a one man, what is the future of what is going to be the outcome of the 2027 election? Because a lot of Nigerians are angry.
Do you know, I would like to learn because this is a general, something that is already common with everybody, okay? Now, Peter Obi was a former governor, right?
Yeah.
And it's also a vice president candidate to Atiku Abubakar. And when he pulled out and decided to be on his own, there was a movement that came up called the Obedience. Obedience is not a party. It's a movement. If Obi decides to leave Labour Party tomorrow, the Obedience movement will follow him.
Yeah.
That has become his what's it called? His followers.
Yeah.
Right? Because they believe in him. So if you change party, I pity the party. If the party don't retain him and decide to just let him go, it doesn't make change. The movement, a lot of people will move out from the party and follow him anywhere, wherever he goes.
Okay,
that's one. Then that's one. Then looking at the election itself, the truth is that I don't want to give anyone false hope. False hope, because we know what happened during the presidential election just passed, right? And what people are saying that they believe that Labour won the election, and we saw what happened. The INEC, the IRF, where the result of the other election was uploaded, but that of presidential election could not be uploaded, and people believe there was a sabotage in the system and all that. And that happened when Tinubu wasn't a president, right? Now he's a president, and we know that Lagos State, people believe that he has to be the one holding the Lagos State, that he's a kingmaker. That's what people believe, is a kingmaker. A kingmaker that has making king after king. He now become a king himself. You now expect him to allow you to come bring down that king after him. Do you understand me? Yeah. A kingmaker that was not a king and was making kings, he now become a king in that same throne. You now expect somebody else to bring a king after him. No, he will make another king after himself. Exactly. Do you understand? So if you want to make sure it doesn't bring another king after him, you need to study him very well, know how to bring in your own king. As simple as that. So if you want to defeat him in the next election, while he's in power and everything is under his control, you have to look for a better alternative. You have to look for a stronger measure to be able to do that. It's a simple message. I'm sure everybody will be able to understand the message.
Wow, this is really a good take home. You have to study the pattern and look for how you're going to make your own king. It sounds more like a parable, but I believe Nigerians will understand very soon. So thank you so much for staying tuned with us in the studio today. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio today, and we look forward to more of this.
Yeah, I'm invited for my birthday.
Oh,
wow. It's going to be 10th, okay? Yes.
Okay.
Like I posted, let's come and bite lap of chicken.
Okay, no problem. So we look forward to the 10th of this month, right? The 10th of this month. Okay, so it is going to be a total lockdown. Should we conclude that there's going to be a lockdown in the studio?
Yes.
Okay, there will be total lockdown.
No, what do you mean lockdown? People will be viewing or will be watching biting the chicken.
Father Ibra, I thought it is going to be locked down together with the cameras.
No. We'll be on set eating anyway.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, our dear viewers. Thank you for staying tuned with us till this time. We'd like that you follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Prime Media TV. On Instagram and TikTok, we are Prime Media Studio. Also, you can follow us on the website at enginespeak.com. You can as well follow us on YouTube at Enginespeak. Thank you all once again for staying tuned with us. I am Ayo. Until I come your way again, do have a great day.